All right, Anthony, thank you for joining us today. Pleasure to have you on the channel. Everyone meet Anthony. He's one of my mentees and has been doing Amazon and Walmart now for only Walmart for like a few months, but Amazon for about how long now?
About a year. So next month would be about a year.
Next one. Okay, cool. And dude, you've been killing it. To start things off, I mean, can you give us a background of yourself, your work, why you started selling? I'm pretty sure, are you full time now with ecom as well? I think you are, right?
Yeah. So I'm full time. So I started last January, if you count that as starting. I bought a mentorship from guys that I trusted,
Yeah.
and then kind of started watching the calls, going through from there, and kind of getting that proof of concept. I
Hmm.
say about a year because it took me about 4 months of just kind of learning and getting everything together because
Yeah.
I worked a full time job. So I quit that job around June and just went full time Amazon. Did my first month. I just found a summer a bog bag. I don't know if you know what those are,
Oh
but
yeah, I sold those before. Yeah, I sold those before.
yeah. So I found that as my first item in June. They were ripping, and so that was my only product. I did about 30K, and then from there I was doing just arbitrage
Cool.
until probably about last month. I got into Walmart, but other than that, it's just only OA, and I do all
Yeah.
FBM.
Sick. Cool. I mean, yeah, I remember one thing when you first joined, you were like, your biggest thing was obviously like capital. I know you're dealing with like some credit stuff, and then once you cleared that out, dude, I remember you just went on a run, dude. You were just tearing it up. So that was pretty cool to see. Let me ask you, like, how much have you done in sales? I guess for Amazon, like, what was your biggest sales month and I guess your biggest profit month for that, and Walmart now as well.
So my biggest sales month was about like 95K. And
Okay.
since I'm all FBM, profit margins usually about like 13 to about 16%. Now,
Yeah,
obviously, like December, holidays, things like that's a lot
of
higher,
course.
but being all FBM, it's about 13 to 16 of that.
Yeah, that's fire. 95K, and you were mostly FBM for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all FBM. When I first started, I did FBA for a little bit. I did shoes. I
Mhm.
didn't really like the fact of sending stuff to Amazon. To each their own. Like it was just easier for me to FBM.
Sure.
And then I just ended up getting a warehouse and putting in those systems in place to where
Yeah.
I'm just all FBM.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously at scale, I'm assuming you're going to want to do like WFS, FBA, right? So you can obviously delegate that task.
Yeah, 100%. So it's just my personal view of Amazon, and probably a lot of sellers out there is like Amazon just sucks. Like it's hard to get valid support. Like it's hard to actually trust with your
Yeah.
inventory. Things get lost. Whereas like Walmart, I wouldn't seller fulfill Walmart. Like I currently do, but most of the stuff that I is just testing, I'm gonna want to send like WFS. Like I've talked their support. It's more of a trustworthy platform where I'm not doing the same strategy on both. Like I want to go all WFS.
100%, right? I mean, and I'll say this, like Amazon sucks as far as like their service and obviously send, just like the way they handle inventory sometimes, but I mean, at the same time, like the opportunity is always there. Like it's
Oh
never
yeah,
like as far as like ecom goes, you're still going to be leveraging that, but you're playing it a little differently compared to Walmart. Because Walmart, I mean, you almost want Walmart to lose your stuff because they're going to give you like they're
they're
going to
just so much better as far as the reimbursement policy too. I mean, everything is more or less like Amazon and Walmart competing, and they're both, big marketplaces. It's not like Walmart's brand new, like they've been
yeah,
around forever. And they're
uh,
trying to pull that competition from Amazon, so they're really seller focused.
exactly. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I preach that all the time. It's you're right on the nail on that. But yeah, I mean, dude, let me ask you, like, for you, Anthony, how you did like 20, 30K, you're doing like 20, 30K months on Walmart too, mainly doing OA. Profit margins are that pretty solid, huh?
Yeah, so the profit margins on Walmart are typically a little higher.
Hmm.
There's not many sellers, obviously, so there's not a lot of price tanking. So those margins are going to be a little higher just because it's really just you and maybe a couple other people. If you're lucky, it's probably just you. And since it's so new of a platform, there's not a lot of sellers. So
Hmm.
profit margins are usually about 15 to 20 because you can kind of
Hmm.
price how you want. It's just really you there
Yeah,
for now.
100%. Yeah, for now, obviously, yeah. Milk it as much as we can. I
Yeah,
mean, the cool thing is now, like you selling now is just you're gonna be one of those OG sellers in the next 3, 4, 5 years where you see these
100%.
Amazon sellers having all these unrestrictions. Our goal is to be in that exact same position in the next 3, 4 years on Walmart, obviously. Um,
100%.
but yeah, I mean, I know you're working full time. Like, how is for you at least, how is making this type of income from Amazon and even Walmart now improve your life? Like, you were able to pretty much quit your job and have a full time operation at this point.
Yeah, I mean, once I learned what I kind of had to do, it was just about doing it. So I took that risk, quit my job. The first couple months, it was hard. Like I was living paycheck to paycheck, basically just using Amazon to pay the basic bills. Once you get past that stage where you're scaling, It's pretty much every day I wake up. I've got an employee now and I've got a couple VAs. I just make sure we pack the orders, but like I go to the gym, I have breakfast when I want, I go and hang out with friends. Like I live my life really on my own terms. But like I had to put in a lot of work. It's not like you're gonna wake up and be free. You gotta
100%.
grind for it.
Absolutely, right? I mean, that's the misconception a lot of people get is like they think they're gonna start this business and then have all the freedom in the world, and then instead you're actually just trading more of your time for work. But I mean, it's for you at the end of the day. You probably enjoy it, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, genuinely now I enjoy it, but there's nights like every night I was thinking about Amazon. I was going to bed like 1, 2 o'clock, sourcing products, like making mistakes. But it was every night I pretty much stayed up late, avoided like all the parties and hanging with like my friends to just kind of build where I'm at now, where I get to go on these vacations, I get to hang out. Granted, I'm still like paying attention to Amazon a couple hours a day, but you got to earn it. You're not just gonna get rich quick.
100%, right? And that's all amazing. Like the fact that to see where you came from the beginning till now is absolutely insane, which is why I wanted to hop on this call. But everyone who's ran a business and obviously can, you in this case, um, they know it didn't come easy, right? So what were the biggest challenges for you starting out? And I guess how do you feel like having the right mentors and the right coaches, how do you feel like that helped you with those challenges?
That's a good one. So I guess the first kind of constraint that anyone's gonna have is capital.
Hmm.
You can't make money if you don't have any money. So that's the biggest thing to overcome. I guess the second biggest thing, it's kind of like your systems. It's reselling, it's arbitrage, whether you go wholesale and all that. You got to have a lot of good systems in place to be able to scale and do volume. So it was making those mistakes to kind of scale from there. Really, those biggest things and having somebody just communicate to, because a lot of times I'll tend to overthink or I want to be perfect. Like I won't do something if I don't know 100% of the steps. And it takes those coaches and mentors to just be like, just do it, try it this way, just go for it to really make that progress. So probably those three things.
Yeah, no, 100%. For sure. And to kind of like on that same note, I guess, what do you feel like for you as far as sourcing goes? Because I mean, I know you said a lot of the things were obviously learning from the right community, the right guys. So now that you kind of gain that knowledge, from that knowledge, what do you feel like has been the best, I guess your favorite sourcing strategy?
Yeah, so I'm not wholesale. Like I could probably mention a couple of times. So it's gonna be
True,
different for
true.
somebody who's watching this that is like wholesale or goes a different route. But for arbitrage especially, I like to storefront stock. I will keep a search, but I'll storefront stock the guys that I know are probably sourcing the same products. For example, Macy's has a private label brand. So I'll go to their private label brand on Amazon and I know these guys are arbitrage sellers. So I'll kind of go through there and just repeat that over and over and over. And for those brands that I like, I'll then take that to Keepa and go a step further. But it's really about 80% of that is just storefront stocking because
For
they're
sure.
resellers.
100%, exactly. And I'm guessing in the future you're probably looking like, I mean, I know we kind of spoke about this before this call, but with all the resources we're gonna start implementing in our community, like I'm sure you're gonna probably start dabbling into wholesale. Is that one of your plans?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna take arbitrage to a certain point. I'm not trying to be $1 million a month arbitrage brand. So
Yeah.
I think mainly I'll probably stabilize arbitrage, keep that 6 figure a month, put that into Walmart, but with capital not being an issue, that's where I'm way more comfortable branching out and doing wholesale.
Hmm.
Because I don't want to be an arbitrage seller forever. It's
Hmm.
great, and I'm always going to do it and I'm going to stick with it. But I want to look into other things and new avenues just to add revenue streams. So 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I mean, OA is such a great model, but I mean, like you said, I mean, there's a cap in that compared to wholesale, where obviously you're not going to have as much of a cap for sure. So I'm right there with you. I mean, wholesale is definitely like I would look at it more as the more stable model. OA is a great way to kind of get your foot in the door. Hey, still has some 6 figure months like you've been doing with OA, like I'm saying with Walmart and Amazon combined. But yeah, I mean, I think you nailed that right there too. But for you, I mean, I have to ask this question too because a lot of guys are skeptical. I mean, what made you decide to, get a mentor? Nowadays, everyone is skeptical about fake scams, get rich quick schemes, all that stuff. What should someone look for when picking a mentor? And I guess what made you kind of overcome that?
Yeah, so it's definitely a problem. I mean, you never know who's truthfully trying to help you and who's just trying to get, the $3,000, $4,000 one-time payment.
Yeah.
Ideally, like I follow a lot of people on Instagram. I watch their stories, their reels, and things like that, and just see if I trust what they're saying or not. Keep it going for a couple months and just see like, hey, do I like this guy? Do I connect with him? Do I think he's genuine? Just hop on a call and see how it is. You don't have to first person. But that was the biggest thing for me was when I got my first like mentor or coach, I wanted to actually like believe what he was telling me and not be like I was going to see him once and never see him again. And that's the kind of experience I had. Thankfully, was every 3 or 4 days I was texting him like I've got their phone numbers. We hop on calls and I still talk to this
Yeah.
day. So I got lucky in that case. But for somebody looking for a coach, it's just building that trust. You don't have to randomly go to somebody and just pay them the money. Build that trust with them and kind of go from there.
100%. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. It's just about trusting other people that have the right knowledge, and obviously the guys that are doing it are going to show it, right? I mean, people that just talk about it, they just talk about it, but I feel like with the right guys that are obviously doing it, you'll visually see that they're doing it, and they're not gonna hide anything back from it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't buy a course from somebody who I at least don't know is making, like I'll look at a screenshot, but I'd want like further proof, those like one-on-one connections. Like the big thing for me is I just DM'd him on Instagram and I was getting paragraphs of just free knowledge for free. Like I
yeah,
didn't even pay this guy and he took, 10, 20 minutes out of his day to sit
yeah,
there and help me out and do something. So that was like the biggest thing. But you're gonna get the
100%.
intuition of kind of just knowing, hey, I'm gonna move forward with this, or I'm gonna find somebody else.
Exactly, 100%. But yeah, I mean, for you to kind of like wrap this up, Anthony, I mean, a lot of people watching this are on the edge. They want to start, but they're not sure if, this Walmart and Amazon thing will even work for them. What is your honest and I guess your best advice to those people that are on the fence about it?
So one of the best things I've at least learned, or like I've heard from other people starting, is don't focus on making profit immediately. I think that's one of the biggest things people worry about is they're like, oh, I'm gonna buy this, like I want to make money. I'm not gonna try it if I'm not gonna make money immediately. Just go
100%.
out there, buy something. It doesn't have to be profitable. Just it sells on Amazon or Walmart and just list it and see what happens. Just don't focus on the money and just do it, and you'll be surprised how far you get. And eventually, you get that proof of concept, and then you start making money at scale.
I think that's a great point. Matter of fact, because people that like this is my message too. Like, if you want to make money now, don't start a business. Like, if you want to make money right now, do not start a business. Leverage a skill set, right? Go learn, I don't know, go get a sales job, do something like that. But if you want to build something like that's long term and the potential to it is obviously infinite and you have pretty much everything at your hand, but obviously it's gonna take a lot of inputs, then yeah, business is great because it's a compounding thing. It's a compounding asset, right? So I mean, totally agree with you on that. Profits are not something I would even look at right away. Luckily, the cool thing about this game is you probably will see profits right away, right? Just because it is a resale game and if you're buying something, it's probably profitable, so you're probably gonna profit on that. But you know, right? But I mean, obviously, like you said though, in the very beginning, like your first buy, if you lose a few bucks on it, who cares? It's all about the proof of concept, anyways. So yeah, couldn't agree more with you on that for sure. Because that was my way of kind of getting my feet wet too. Um,
Yeah, a lot of people also overthink. I think if there's one more thing I was going to
yeah,
add is don't overcomplicate it. Just find
yeah,
something, scan it. Make sure you're not getting an IP or anything like that if you're going to be reselling. But scan the item, everything looks good. Just take the risk, see if you can sell it, and I think that's more for your first product.
for
Just
sure.
don't think so much about it. Go out there, buy something, resell it, and then kind of get the proof of concept and go from there.
Dude, 100%. I'm excited to see where you're at in the next few months. I think you're gonna do some pretty nasty numbers. Especially what we got cooking on. I mean, I'm gonna first. I mean, I don't know for everyone that's watching this, like Anthony, we were just talking a minute, like probably like the last few nights, actually the last week, I should say. I'm gonna make one of my success coaches because dude is an absolute killer. Pretty much went from a student to now doing some numbers that coaches online aren't even doing. So I mean, it's pretty sick to see where you've came. I'm excited to see where you take this in the next few months. I think my goal is hopefully for us to come back on a call and you doing 100K months on Walmart and Amazon. That'd be pretty sick.
That's
But
the goal.
yeah, for sure. Well, Anthony, thanks again for coming on here, dude, and sharing your experience. Like I said, I hope in the next few months we get another interview with you at 100K plus months on both platforms and keep running up a bag from there.
Yeah, if we hit 100K on both platforms, I'll come to you and we could do one in person.
Hey, I like that. I like that. We'll
It's
come. We'll
coming
come,
up.
we'll come shoot one on the warehouse. We'll come shoot one at the warehouse, sitting on top of pallets, having an interview about that. That'd be pretty sick.
100%.
Cool. Well, Anthony, thanks again, brother. I'll see you in a few months on the 100K months.
All right, take care.